I think the UK government's got it right on this one. Look, there's no reliable statistics kept centrally. I saw House of Commons paper on it, just saying, look, you have to go to other groups. There is a group called XL Bully Watch, and since 2021, there's been 11 fatal attacks involving XL bullies, 3 suspected to involve XL bullies. That is about half of all fatal dog accounts. This breed, XL bully, look, the clue is in the name, extra large bully.
You say it's a breed, though, and it's not really. It's a mixed breed, which is going to make the ban even harder.
Well, it's an American Pit Bull Terrier crossed with an American Staffordshire Terrier. But who would breed a dog called an XL bully and expect it to be, family friendly? Come on, if 11, right, we'll just take the confirmed cases. If 11 tyres of a certain type by a manufacturer had blown and killed people, there'd be a huge inquiry and those tyres would either banned or have to be changed. If it was an electrical appliance in your house, a type of washing machine that was bursting into flames and killed 11 people, there'd be a huge pressure for something to happen. How can you just stand back now? I can see why in Scotland, slightly different system. Maybe there are fewer XL bullies in Scotland. So I don't mind if that's the way the Scots want to go. But I think in England and Wales, for once, the government has got it right, because that's an enormous number of people who've been killed. If it was a terrorist running amok, can you imagine there'd be emergency legislation, there'd be debates in the House of Commons, there'd be marches for action.
Crystal, what do you think? You're a dog lover.
I am a dog lover, and I get the principle behind this ban. The issue that I have is that I think that every few years we hear about a breed of dog that is out of control and that is a particularly dangerous breed of dog. And we had it with the Pit Bull in the early 90s. We've had it with the Japanese Tosa. We've had it with the Doggo Argentino, which I've never actually heard of, but that was also a breed that ended up being banned. Yeah. That's not solved the problem of dog attacks. What it's done, and to take your analogy, because the issue is that these dogs are not being looked after, socialised, and it's the owners that are the problems when it comes to many of these dogs. Now, to take your analogy about an appliance, yes, of course, if 11 people died from an appliance, you would ban that appliance. But if those 11 people were putting their crockery in the washing machine instead of actually using it properly, well, banning that washing machine wouldn't solve the people using it in the wrong way. It is the users of those dogs, to take that analogy, the owners of those dogs that are the problem. And my fear is that we'll all say, oh, great, yep, XL bully dogs, brilliant, problem solved. And then in a couple of years' time, there'll be another breed. It might be there have been attacks with Rottweilers, there have been attacks with Dobermans before. And we might end up saying, well, actually, oh, God, there's another breed now, without actually getting to the fundamental problem that is responsible dog ownership, socialising a dog properly, making sure it's...
What do we do with other areas of crime? Say fraud. Right, there's a certain type of fraud, you take action. Then fraudsters think, we'll come up with a new way. So then you legislate against that. So it's the same with dogs. I'm afraid if people are breeding these monster dogs, 9-stone monsters with jaws that cause injuries, unlike other dogs, then you're going to have to deal with it.
Respectfully, I think get to the source of the problem, which is the breeders. That's the problem. It's that source. It's not the dog. It's banning those out-of-control breeders. It's making sure there are dog licences.
Yeah, well, you put the breeders out of business by not allowing them to sell the breed.
But what if you ban the breeders from ever breeding any kind of dog in the future, in which case they'll be less likely to invest in this new breed that's going to come along the tracks, as you've suggested, from breeding them? Yeah,
I'd do that as well. I like the idea of that.
Oh, okay. So we're going to go the whole hog.
If you've got an irresponsible breeder who's getting XL bullies and is selling them, and then they're going around maiming and killing people, then that person or persons shouldn't be breeding dogs.
All dog breeding should be regulated more, much more thoroughly. Yes.
Gillian from London, what do you think about this XL bully ban?
Hi again, Storm.
Hi.
Well, I think it's. I don't agree at all with the idea that because some of these XL bullies are actually friendly and loving, and they're no problem. And I think that would be very unfair on both the owner or the family, whichever applies, and on and perhaps on the dog. I think it upset the people who own it and perhaps the dog as well.
So, Julian, just to make it absolutely clear, people that own XL bullies and they are family dogs at the moment will not have to put down their dog. This is dogs that are in the Battersea Dog Home and in places like that that will have to be rehomed by the end of this year, may have to be put down. If you own an XL bully dog, by next year you're going to have to start keeping them on leads and having them in muzzles in February, which you can say is very unfair to a dog that has done absolutely nothing wrong. However, Gillian, we have had this discussion even before the ban came into place, and we had a caller on who said that she had an XL bully dog who was a lovely family dog, absolutely glorious, nothing wrong, and then one day just turned. And it is that one day just turn that I think people live in fear of, not necessarily people with XL bullies, but people that are maybe neighbours or have to live in the same communities as them.
Yeah. Well, that is a bad thing. That is a pity if it does suddenly just turn. But I mean, but probably a lot of animals could turn, can't they?
Well, yes, but not a lot of animals have these jaws and weigh 9 stone. No,
that's true. But I mean, I personally, if the XL bully has not been the problem, I don't think it should be taken away from them.
Well,
that's the way I feel.
Julian, in the last year, 6 out of 10, and listen, I'm a dog lover. I'm trying to give the other argument to this. 6 out of 10 fatalities of dog attacks have been perpetrated by XL bullies. How do you get around that statistic?
I don't know, honestly, but I have to say, I would not personally want an XL bully banned, or taken away from owners if it's not been a problem. That's the only way I can look at it.
That's not going to happen, Gillian, so you don't need to worry about that. But thank you very much for your call. David from Shropshire, what's your view?
Oh, hello, Storm.
Hi.
And hello to the panel. I'm a bit on the borderline, actually, to whether they should be banned or not. Sometimes I think they should, and other times I think they shouldn't. But the thing is, they are very, very dangerous dogs. They can't be trusted. I mean, they might be all right 1 minute and then they'll be attacking you the next.
But David, could we not say about that a Rottweiler or an Alsatian or any of these other bigger breeds? At the end of the day, if one of them wanted to have you for dinner, I'm afraid you've got very little hope.
Well, yeah, but it's, I don't know, the Rottweiler, the Pit Bull Terriers and the XL Terriers, I don't know, to be honest with you, I will go a bit further and say that dogs like that should be bred out of existence.
But we're looking to diversify the animal kingdom, not start, killing certain breeds off. I know domesticated dogs are not part of wildlife, I get that. But David, it is a really, really difficult one because we have seen dogs banned in the past. The problem has not been solved. The panel are all in agreement that eventually there will be another breed of dog that a certain type of person will want to have as some sort of coat of armour or weapon or however you want to phrase it. And this is going to be just a cyclical system of banning different breeds throughout future.
And I think we need to get to the mindset of the fact that, even the smallest dogs, every single dog has the potential to be dangerous if it's not looked after and socialised properly.
If Dolly was going to take a chunk out of me,
my little doggy,
your little doggy, unlikely to cause fatal damage, and this is the problem.
Absolutely, but even an owner of a dog like Dolly, my little dog, or if I owned a Rottweiler, I have to have the mindset that if I don't look after that dog properly, if I don't socialise it properly, if I don't make sure that the hierarchy in the household is known by that dog, it could bite a guest, which if it was Dolly, with you, I know that she licked you a lot, then it would probably be okay. But I think this is the mindset we need to have with dog owners, rather than this, the government will step in, ban it, and then that will solve the problem, because it doesn't.
The ban's not the be-all and end-all, to use what the Home Secretary said about Rwanda exiling. But it is part of it, because they are just disproportionately involved in fatal attacks.
Yes, they are. David, thank you very much for your call. Fiona from Greater Manchester, what's your views on XL bullies in general, I suppose?
In general, the ones that I looked after, taken care of, like mine, they're absolutely adorable, even with other dogs.
But Fiona, the argument against that, because we all love our own dogs, and if you've trained them right, which it sounds like you absolutely have, and socialised them, they can make great pets. But they can switch, they can just turn. I mean, even the smallest little dog can turn or just decide they don't like a specific person or they don't like a specific dog. The problem with an XL bully, Fiona, is when that dog decides it doesn't like you, the person or the other dog has a big problem on their hands.
But who said that?
Well,
has that happened to you? Has that happened to Russia?
I'll tell you who said it, Fiona. The statistics, 60% of last year's fatal dog attacks were perpetrated by XL bullies.
But that could be any breed that you're saying. Have you looked at Rottweilers? Have you looked at Dobermans?
It is.
Have you looked at the bigger breeds?
Fiona, it's an XL bully, so whatever we're going to categorise, and I agree, the categorising of a mixed breed dog is incredibly difficult. But you can separate a Rottweiler, you can separate other breeds. 60% of fatal dog attacks were caused by an XL bully last year.
Yeah, I just want to point out as well, though, I've had Staffordshire Bull Terriers all my life. Now, the last dog that I did have, he was a tall Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and he would categorise as an XL bully because of his height. Now, that's wrong.
Fiona, I absolutely hear, and this is, Kevin, the problem that I was trying to state earlier when you were discussing the ban, is that when you have a mixed breed or you're just judging a breed based on how it looks, you've got a problem with a dog like Fiona owned, a tall staffy who could look like an XL bully.
You're quite right. That's why the XL Bully Watch group said there were 11 confirmed killings by XL bullies and 3 suspected because they were,
because they're not sure.
Crossbreed, yeah.
And so what happens in the future? Are these dogs going to have to be put down?
Well, if they're XL bullies, yes. If they're not XL bullies, no.
Well, then you're going to have to genetically test every dog that looks quite similar to an XL bully. Yep. Fiona, just a quick question before I let you go. Are you going to be registering your dogs?
I have to. I can't let my baby go.
No, of course not. I totally understand. I totally appreciate your love for them, and I bet you they are absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Fiona, for your call. Susan from London, what's your feeling? Is this the right move for the government? You've just heard from Fiona. She absolutely loves her dogs. They're precious to her. They're well trained. They get on with other dogs.
I do think that they should be banned. And actually, in my opinion, I think they're already banned in terms of they are a part-bred pit bull, and the pit bull is banned in this country. My understanding of the pit bull law was that pit bulls and part-breds were banned in this country.
Well, are pit bulls banned? I don't know if they're on...
Yeah, the pit bull is on the Dangerous Dogs Act.
But the problem is, Susan, and it's going to be a problem going forward, if we ban this, which is a mixed breed of, you've just told me, a banned breed, what are we going to do in future? Because we're just going to get a mixed breed of something else. It might be the Argentino Doggo or whatever the other banned breed is. There's always going to be something else down the track. So is there not some other way of stopping this problem?
The difficulty is that you can license dogs and you can license breeders, but the breeders of XL bullies are not registered breeders. They're not Kennel Club because you can't put part-breds onto a Kennel Club register. And so therefore, how do you find the breeders? How do you know? It's often families that are breeding from their pets that are breeding these dogs. And there's also a criminal underground of people that are breeding these dogs for money.
Maybe we need to get a lot more strict in this country about the breeding and legislating on that so that we can find the people that are doing it unscrupulously. I can't pronounce that word, but you know what I'm getting at.